All right. What is up, everyone? This is your boy, Metahuman Macaluco. And today, on today's 420 special, I got none other than the infamous Brendan Kush. For real, for real. What's going on, Brendan?
What's good? How are you doing, Luca?
I'm doing
I'm
great, thank
good.
you. I'm chilling.
For
So,
real, that's great.
Brendan.
Happy 420 for real.
Oh, yeah, dude. It's going to be a great one.
Yeah, it will be. It will be.
Getting
But I
blazed.
hope everyone has a good 420. If you're watching this on 420 for real.
Absolutely.
hmm
Um, So anyway, Brendan, how did you get your start into making music? What was the initial domino effect, the inspiration?
Uh, Honestly, there was a few things. So when I was in high school, that was when the 2016 freshman class was. And a lot of those rappers kind of blew up. And I feel like everyone, even if you didn't like rap at the time, you definitely had one of those rappers in your playlist. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. That is an actual fact. Dude, Kodak
Like
Black, being from
Lil
Florida.
Yachty, uh Kodak, Lil Yachty, Lil Uzi, even 21 Savage. Like they all really triggered I guess that initial jump into SoundCloud rap.
Yeah.
And then when I was 16, 17 years old, I found stuff like Lil Pump and South Florida, stuff that was really starting in 2016. And I found Lil Peep and stuff like that towards the end of 2016 and the start of 2017. And honestly, I feel like that kind of part of my high school experience mixed with being friends with Luke from Calling All Captains. I feel like that together kind of put me in the initial direction to make music anyway. Because, I feel like if you know someone who makes music, you're more inclined to make music, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. Sounds about right,
Yeah.
actually. And
And then, yeah, that's really it.
and now, as far as rap goes, I've noticed you a couple of your songs kind of they feel a little bit more hyper pop. Is that intentional?
Uh, I would say that my music isn't really rap music. I feel like some of it's emo rap, but most of it's more poppy anyway. I feel like hyperpop fits me, but I don't know. I feel like some of it's more experimental than even hyperpop can really label.
No, I mean I feel that, but like
hmm
I don't want to make comparisons, but I listened to some of your most recent tracks that you've put out within the last 2 to 3 years. I listened to
hmm
some of the other hyperpop artists like 100 Gex and Jeffrey Alexander, and they all have a very similar sound. So that's why I ask you this question.
hmm Yeah. Show Jeffrey Alexander. He's a dope guy.
Dude, I literally my homegirl has been friends with him for literal years, and he just
We've
moved
been
recently to Orlando.
yeah, that's dope. We've been internet mutuals for a really long time.
Funny how
Do you keep up with the underground scene in Florida just in general? Do you know about what's popping in Orlando and stuff like that?
not really, not as much as I should. Um, I've been so hyper focused on everything happening here in Miami and Broward.
Word, word. I get you.
But
There's a lot going on in Florida always.
dude, Florida's popping off. It stays popping off yearly.
Yeah, definitely. Mhm.
So as you're from Edmonton, correct?
Edmonton.
Edmonton. Thank you for correcting me. How is the
Yeah.
scene over there?
Edmonton. Oh, like what kind of scene are we talking about? Like what music specifically?
Um, let's start with the hip hop rap scene first, and then we can work our way to the other scenes.
Okay. Hip hop and like rap is kind of like more like old head stuff, and it's more like it's more lyrical, spiritual bull crap that I'm not really about. But like people think my beats are dope in Edmonton, so they buy them. So it's like whatever. Like sometimes people jump on my beats. I don't really like what they put on it, but like at least they paid me money.
I feel
And
it.
it's like I feel like there's always gonna be people who don't respect your art, but there's also people who can see the value in what you're creating. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And I feel like that's an everywhere thing. So, I can't
hmm
say I blame you for feeling that way. Um, I have
It's
to say,
like I might not like what someone's making right now, but like who knows, a year from now, they might make something I like. 2 years from now, maybe. You never know.
a fact. I can't. You make a valid point.
You can't count locals out, even though most people quit.
Make a very valid point.
At
Uh,
at least with like local rap music here and like in Western Canada, in my opinion.
I got you. I noticed that at some point you were heavily advertising for your boy Luke, and he's got a lot of hardcore stuff going on. Are you heavily involved in your hardcore scene?
Oh, the hardcore scene in Edmonton's crazy. I grew up like going to like hardcore shows in Edmonton like when I was like 18, 19, 20. And like I really like I don't really go to that many shows like locally in Edmonton anymore, and that's my fault. But like I really like the hardcore scene in Edmonton because it's kind of like the most grassroots, genuine like scene in like just in general in the city. I feel like it's like I feel safe at a hardcore show. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Uh,
absolutely.
yeah. Is there a reason like you were asking me about that? Are you gonna ask me about crowd killing and stuff like that? Because I would love to talk about crowd killing and or hardcore dancing as it's properly called. You know?
Well, there's only one venue I go to right now, and
hmm
it's kind of a small space for crowd killing. When I used to crowd kill, I used to go to some shows in. It was a little spot in Margate, fucking O'Malley's, and
Oh yeah.
there was another spot that got Loza Lounge. It was like the two biggest spots
hmm
where crowd killing would happen. Um, Unfortunately, both of them got shut down. Now there's a new spot called Grimm's.
Yeah.
I haven't really seen anyone crowd kill yet. Yet, let me emphasize yet.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
but what is your opinion on crowd killing? You look like you have fun in a crowd.
It's
Maybe.
like I feel like everyone should be aware of their own space around them. And if you don't feel safe in in like in the pit or like on the edge of the pit or something like that, then move.
Yeah,
You know what I
absolutely.
mean? Like like obviously everyone deserves to feel safe at a show, but like I've seen like I've seen like girls get kicked in the face from like someone like crowd surfing and just like booting their legs out, you know? And like shit happens, but like everyone like helps everyone up. Everyone like makes sure everyone's okay. It's like and like I feel like it's a little different in like especially in Western Canada, I feel like it's a little different because you can like look at like getting hurt and going to the hospital as like not as costly because the healthcare system is different here, but I feel like being in the pit and like going to shows where you know like there will be people throwing these crazy moves, throwing these wind makers and like windmills and haymakers. Oh my god, I said wind makers. That's crazy. That should be something. Someone should make that something, bro.
Someone will clip
But
that. I'll,
like,
I'll probably clip that at some point.
but you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if you are going to these shows, you should know what kind of crowd you're gonna expect. You should be aware of your surroundings and like you can't blame someone else because they swung and you got hit. Like that's crazy.
No, absolutely, I agree.
Like
Uh,
I feel like yeah, maybe the person swinging should be aware of their surroundings to some degree, but like you can't blame yourself if you're unaware of it, you know?
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
What are your favorite venues that you have gone to and seen other people perform yet? And what are your favorite venues that you yourself have performed at?
My favorite venues that I've gone to see people at, does
Yes.
that include like anywhere or is that just
Anywhere.
Edmonton?
Any genre, anywhere, doesn't matter. And then the follow up question was your favorite venue that you performed at.
My favorite venue I've performed at. Oh my god. I think I'm gonna give that to the aviary for last year for Gaffness. That was really fun. Like I think what that show really showed me, talking about performance first, I feel like that was just like the most fun show I've actually played in a long time. And just to talk a little bit about that show, the lineup was Woozy and Skylone, uh Sleeping Bags, Chloe Stankowski, A6 Love, me, and Gaffwood, right?
Right.
And it was fun. Like everyone got paid. Uh, Woozy and Skylin, they're only 16. They make hyperpop kind of stuff. Uh, but it's like I don't know. Hyperpop's so weird because you can say hyperpop and you can mean like glitchy like EDM synthy music like what I make, or you can mean like alternative rock, like Midwest emo guitars and real drums and just like a one little vocal glitch and like a pretty boy aesthetic, you know?
Well, when I mention hyperpop, I'm mentioning the first thing, the first description,
Yeah,
because it's got
it's
that
really
EDM
like,
sound, and sometimes you'll have someone throw in some like really crazy lyrics that you wouldn't even expect in a like regular song to begin with.
yeah, but like Woozy has like a lot of guitars, a lot of like alt rock kind of vibes. It's really different, but like he also has some hyper pop songs, you know? Like
Yeah.
I feel like the thing with like artistry right now, and literally gonna give this to my girlfriend Corey because she also like was talking to me about this is more about if you like a song than if you like the artist itself. Because artists jump from sound to sound so much now that it's not about liking a sound, it's about liking the song specifically and the vibe entirely. You know
Interesting.
what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like I definitely think that even like my discography from start to finish is like everything like the first song sounds definitely more emo rap than like the most recent song's probably more hyper pop or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's like even like there's so many artists that like just jump from like one genre to another genre and it's just I feel like it's a lot harder to box in someone to one sound nowadays. But I feel like I've definitely been playing it safe, just playing one sound because I kind of just like making that sound.
Well, I
You know
mean,
what I mean?
you've clearly gotten very experimental as the years gone on, and I feel like you're only going to get experimental moving forward.
Yeah, I feel like what people define as experimental isn't always experimental though.
No,
I feel like uh, I'm gonna give a shout out to Comethazine. Uh, did you hear about what happened to him?
yeah,
He was
didn't
making
he go through a whole rebrand? I don't even think he's Cementhicene anymore.
no, he is. I don't remember what the name is. It's Frank something? Maybe I don't know.
I heard
I
about
don't
that
remember.
story, but I haven't even peeped his new stuff. That's the odd
Yeah,
part.
I don't know. I didn't know the new stuff was out. Is it?
I have
I
no.
didn't know that I didn't know that that's a really cool story because he just like disappeared for years and whole new sound, whole new vibe, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely a whole rebrand. Not even just like
yeah,
with the music, but like with his image too. So
yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's lots of artists that do that for different reasons. But to give you some venues that I like going to, I like the Starlight Room in Edmonton. They need someone to buy them out and so they can rent out the venue and still show shows there because they owe a lot of debt because of COVID. I really hope that they're okay. They're literally like one of my favorite venues in the whole city. They're like the one venue that's like on my list of venues I want to play that I haven't yet. And to give you some other ones, I said the Aviary. I like going there for shows. They're fun. Um, and then to give you venues that don't exist anymore. I went to a lot of shows at a venue called The Needle like years ago when I first turned 18 and shit. And like that's where I would go for a lot of like hardcore shows.
right.
And uh, I went to I like going to I played the dive bar last year in Edmonton. That venue is they're not bad. They're nice people there, but like they like only serve like I don't even remember what John Deere said it was I don't remember what John they only served bags of cheesies, yeah. Do you know what cheesies are?
No.
They're like they're like Cheetos.
Okay. That's a little
Yeah,
odd.
they're like a Canadian brand of Cheetos. They sell little bags of them. And so and liquor too, but like I just thought that that was crazy. No food.
That is a little. I mean, there's a lot of bars here in America that serve only liquor and beer and whatever, but to serve liquor and cheesies, just cheesies by
Yeah,
itself, no other
yeah.
snack, like no Doritos, no fucking Lay's, no nothing, just
No,
cheesies.
honestly, I feel like chips would have slapped.
Yeah,
But like even like yeah, I don't know. But like they were nice people. It's just a nice little venue. They do a lot of like a lot for the Edmonton scene now, like locally and like our punk scene and stuff like that.
that's cool.
So like you can't knock a venue just because it's not up to every standard you have. Sometimes your standards are too high, my friend.
Absolutely, 1,000%.
Like
Um,
that's one thing I've learned like playing shows is like some of the people who just like run these like venues that's like you regular or like you sometimes you've never met the person who runs the actually like runs the venue and like knows like owns the venue or whatever. And like generally I just like when like I meet them and they're a nice person. Uh oh, to give you another venue I liked that I played Congress Coffee House in Calgary. Um, Opening for my friend Chloe Stankowski, and that was that was a really fun night. Uh, that whole set's on YouTube, so like I think you've seen that. I think you have a comment on that video.
I'm pretty positive I have seen that, and I'm actually happy you brought up Chloe. Um, I was gonna ask how you met up with her, and because I know you guys have a couple of tracks together as well.
We have a lot of music together. Um,
You
it
and
started
her,
with me.
you have a
Yeah,
song, and I still think about that one lyric. It's very simple, but I still think about it. My ops lame as fuck.
yeah. The clown bar.
The clown bar.
Yeah. Yeah. That bar from Clown. That's a very simple one, but I feel like the effects and everything carry it. Like I really like I feel like that beat also is like not like super simple, but not like super like heavy
Intricate.
duty like a lot of like other producers do. I feel like my production's a lot simpler.
I got you. Um, and going back to my original question, how did you meet Chloe to begin with?
Uh I used to listen to Chloe's music a long time ago in like 2018, like right around like when I first like started taking music seriously. I was listening to Chloe's music, and this was when her like name was still James Colt on like for music, and like she like was hadn't transitioned yet,
Right.
and so when I just kind of started listening, and like at first I didn't even know Chloe like lived in Alberta, but like I watched the music video, I was like, oh, that kind of looks uh like maybe not Edmonton. Edmonton's a little more like city like, but like where this video was shot, it was oh my god, I can't remember the song. Give me a second. Give me a
Take your
second. I'll
time.
get you a song. But basically, like I used to listen to a bunch of Chloe's music, and then around 2020, I was trying to like send her beats on Twitter, and we became Twitter mutuals, and then we just kind of became really good friends, like over the course of like the years and everything. Like I would say Chloe's one of my best friends in the whole world, like beyond music, beyond like the internet. Like that's a real life friend for me, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. And it's
Like that's a
beautiful how that
friend.
kind of blossomed, you know. They always say never meet your heroes, but in this scenario, it looks like one of your heroes became your best friends.
Well, like that's kind of how it worked with Luke too. Like Luke was, I just kind of like added Luke on Facebook because I liked his band's music, and like over the course of time, me and Luke actually realized we had a lot of actual like hobbies and stuff in common. Like we both liked Pokemon and other stuff. And like we had a lot of things that we just like the thing with me and Luke that like really like I feel like solidified my friendship with Luke is that me and Luke both like SoundCloud rap. Whereas like his best friend Connor that's like in Captains and he makes music with Connor and like writes the Captains demos and stuff. They like they're like best friends. But Connor doesn't really like SoundCloud rap like I like SoundCloud rap. Me and Luke like our friendship is different because of SoundCloud rap.
Right.
You know? And like I think that's beautiful. And I would say that like I definitely would not be friends with without music, but I'm glad that I'm friends with Chloe beyond music because I feel like there's so many people who have relationships with people and it's so like beneficial only. Like if it's not like if they're not benefiting off of you some way, then they don't want the relationship, you know. Like so many people don't want to just be friends nowadays. Like even you and me, I would say me and you are friends on a first term basis beyond like being friends on like through like content creation like strategies and talking about things like that and like ideas and like just creative like the struggles of being a creative. Like you and I are friends beyond that, you know.
I'm
And
honored that you feel that
I
way.
I feel like that's hard to find nowadays with people. Well, I like I've always like had a lot of internet friends like growing up when I was like younger, and so I find that like I feel internet friends are like just as real as like real life friends, you know.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like a lot of people actually agree with me on that now because of the COVID and stuff, which is cool.
Yeah, COVID definitely sparked a boom in that. You know, being friends with everyone else internationally.
Yeah, because it's like even like being on Discord like we are right now, it's like is like this is pretty good. Like if we did this once a week, I'd call that hanging out with you, you know.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Going back to Chloe and Luke, I know you said
Hmm.
earlier that the 2016 boom in hip hop was one of the biggest inspirations, but would you say that those two individuals also pushed you to your ability to create different sounds and get not necessarily experimental in the sense of like you're making some death grips ass music, but just experimental with what you're capable of doing as a musician?
They uh I feel like Luke has always kind of not really taken any kind of hands-on approach in teaching me how to pursue music. It's never been anything that like he wants to do, but like I always send Luke stuff and Luke will be like, "Oh, I could have never made this." And I think that's nice, you know?
Yeah.
And it's like even if you listen to like the Gaffwood sound versus like my sound, it's different. It's definitely they're definitely different.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I don't know. I feel like me and Chloe we've kind of found that creating music together allows her to experiment sounds that she may have not explored before, but also it allows me to explore a different idea of what I could create too.
I got you.
And so I feel like me and Chloe definitely influence each other a lot more than like me and Luke, but like I feel like sometimes I send Luke something and it really motivates him to like do something like different or something like new.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, earlier you had mentioned that you are a huge Pokemon fan. What is your favorite Pokemon?
My favorite Pokemon's Squirtle. What's your favorite Pokemon?
All right. It's I'm tied between either Hitmonlee or Hitmonchan, but I also like Sock and Throw.
Why not Hitmontop?
Him on top is a cool looking Pokemon. I forget about him. Wasn't he second gen?
Hitmontop's my favorite one. Yeah. Oh, out of those three, Hitmontop's my favorite.
You mentioning Hitmontop. I'm now remembering some of his earliest appearances in Pokemon where he was spinning around. Honestly, I gotta give it to Hitmontop when he's spinning on his head. Oh
He's a
man,
cool Pokemon.
he is a really cool
And
Pokemon. I forgot about him. I'm so glad you brought
you
him up.
know, Hitmontop is I feel like Hitmontop. Do you know about the pre-evolution of those Pokemon? Like the
No.
one that makes them all related?
Uh
Tyrogue. So Tyrogue evolves into Hitmontop, Hitmonlee, and Hitmonchan. And that's how in second gen that's how they became an evolutionary line. And
gotcha.
they all became related.
Damn, I gotta brush up on my Pokemon stuff. It has been years. I've only seen like a couple of pictures and I forgot. Someone showed me a picture of Sock and Throw. I'm like, this should have been the original design for Hitmonlee and Hitmonchan, but I'm not complaining at this point. I still
They're
fuck with
cool Pokemon.
all those Pokemons.
Yeah, Stock and Throw are cool Pokemon too. Uh, I find that like I was really like into Pokemon from like a really young age, like 2, 3 years old, and I feel like that probably is why so much of this Pokemon crap is baked into my head. But I love Pokemon. It's not crap. Sponsor me, Nintendo. I need money.
Sponsor me,
For
Nintendo.
real.
Please.
Yeah, no, but like, no, I love Pokemon. Shout out Pokemon. It definitely like the my earliest attempts at making music when I was younger. Like, were definitely to try to like make remixes of Pokemon songs and things like that. Like, I love Pokemon so much, and like, I gotta give a huge shout out to Pokemon. I owe it for real.
Hell yeah. Pokemon for the win. Were you ever a fan of any of the other Nintendo IPs like Mario Brothers, Legend of Zelda?
Yeah, I was playing some of the new Mario game recently. I still gotta play like the Legend of the Breath of the Wild ones, like the first and the second one.
The one that came out for the Switches?
Yeah, the ones on the Switches I gotta figure out. Like my friend John Deere lent me the first one. I just haven't had the time to play it. But you know what my favorite Nintendo IP is?
What would
That
that
like I
be?
feel like no one talk that I feel like no one talks about.
I'm
It
gonna
would
take.
definitely
I was gonna
take
say.
a
I'm gonna make a wild guess and say Pikmin.
Oh, I love Pikmin, but no, no, no. I feel like Pikmin in recent years, in my opinion, has gotten such a rise in support and a fan base. Like I was able to buy Pikmin 1 and 2 and on the Switch, and I thought I would never be able to do that. I thought they would forever be on like the GameCube and the Wii, you know?
That's
And so
insane.
like
You can actually do
the
that now?
fact yeah, and it was only like $65 Canadian, so that's $50 US or something. So it's like it's and that's for the two games.
That's insane.
Anyway, but like the game I was gonna say is like I love Xenoblade Chronicles.
Oh,
Xenoblade is definitely one of my favorite like franchises under Nintendo. That like I feel like was really underappreciated until the Switch, and the Switch really like pushed it over the limits. Like I didn't I didn't know there was a third game until like last year, and so I bought it, and then I bought the definitive edition of the first game, and I was playing that game, and I was playing that, and there's some stream highlight, some stream like some stream what's the word I'm looking for
highlights?
VODs is
Oh, the
some VOD
VODs.
footage of me like playing that game like on stream a couple of times. But I ended up lending that to Luke recently so he could play it because he's never played Xenoblade. And I think that it's like one of the best game franchises ever. And I think one of the best parts about it is you can play any of the games separately from one another. But it's really fun to play things in order. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Now,
Yeah.
is it a turn-based RPG? Is it a
It's it's kind of like it's it's like a fantasy RPG, it's like a big Final Fantasy game. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And so it's like this. You got like it plays differently than any game I've ever played in my life. And the best part about it is like the first game and the second game, the third game, they all play differently from one another. And it's like they're all great games.
They look like fun games. I remember my introduction to Xenoblade was through Smash Brothers when they introduced Shulk in Smash 4.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's kind of around when I kind of explored that play too.
okay, that makes
And
sense.
then I just kind of fell in love with the game.
Gotcha. Funny how that works. You play a character
Yeah,
in a fighting game IP and you're now researching his whole
well, you kind of,
backstory.
well, it's like most people kind of thought he was like a like Fire Emblem character. I thought that was really funny.
I was like, there's no way you can think he's a Fire Emblem character. His sword literally looks like something out of Final Fantasy. I mean, granted, he's got the anime fucking aesthetic, but like, not every anime sword fighter is going to be from Fire Emblem.
Yeah, for real. But like, yeah, I don't know. I love Xenoblade. I feel like it's finally getting love, like Pikmin's getting love,
Yeah.
which I love. Like, Xenoblade 3 lost Game of the Year or something in one of the categories it was in. I think it was for music or something, which I feel like it probably could have actually won in. But like it was against like Elden Ring and like big games like that, you know. And
Yeah.
even as like even though it's Nintendo, you know, I feel like yeah, I kind of get why they didn't win.
Oh boy.
Uh, do you want to talk about Smash Bros?
Yeah. What's your opinion on Smash Bros? Are you active in the Smash scene over in Edmonton?
I used to be active in the Edmonton Smash scene. It was I went to one local in Edmonton when I was like a teenager, but I mostly did locals that were in the suburbs I live in that's like around Edmonton.
Right.
And like it was like the events were put together by like someone I like went to school with like locally. And he actually is like a really big he became a pretty big like amateur Smash player in my opinion. Like he was doing pretty good and like he was doing pretty good like playing Project M. And then like Ultimate came out, and he seems like he's doing good playing Ultimate, but he seems like right now he's mostly focused on real life, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and I'm definitely not that active in my Smash scene anymore. But it's like it's just cool to see what happens, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hmm.
Hell yeah. What was I gonna say?
Oh, do you know about Falco? Do you know about Falco Masters 3000?
I do not.
Oh my god, you have to watch the videos on YouTube of about Falco Master 3000 because I don't think I'm gonna do the story justice. But basically, he's a mask, sunglasses wearing, ski mask wearing Smash Bros. Player who showed up at an Edmonton event and he beat everybody, beat everyone. He won, and then he never showed up again. He disappeared. But he's played at other places that aren't Edmonton. He's played like at like oh my god. I think he's on like Xanadu, like on Xanadu highlights
Oh
and shit like
no,
that.
not Xanadu. I gotta tell my boys
Something
about
like
this. I gotta tell Deku
no,
and
like
Brandon
he's
about this
he's
guy.
on something. He's on something like that. Like he's on like if you search Falco Masters 3000, you'll find it. Let me look on my computer. Give me a second.
Oh boy.
Give me 1 second to look this up on YouTube. I love Falco Masters 3000. I love the lore. I think it's crazy it involves Edmonton.
Oh joy, oh joy.
Oh, yeah, you can find the interview. The interview. The interview from 10 years ago in Edmonton. Yeah, no. Uh, where, where is it? Yeah. Oh, it was SAX. Falco Masters 3000 was at SAX. That's what it was.
Okay, I'm gonna have to
And
look this.
it was on VG Boot Camp. That's what it was.
Oh boy, I'm gonna have to look this up after this interview. That's insane.
That's not Xanadu, but like basically.
Oh
But
man.
like yeah, and there's some VOD footage of him like playing in Edmonton, and there's like people telling the story and stuff. It's cool. I think it's funny and involves Edmonton.
That is pretty fucking hilarious. I ain't gonna front. That's so funny.
Like I told Luke about that recently, and he thought that was crazy. And then Luke was like, "There's footage of him playing like somewhere in the States." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And he sent me one of those VG bootcamp videos.
That's insane. He's
Yeah.
that individual's very clearly well traveled. Oh boy.
Like who is it though? That's what you need to like wonder. Like who is Falco Master 3000 for real?
Falco Master 3000. The new mystery. Who is this
It's
masked fiend?
it's a good question to ask for real. But yeah, do you got any other questions about Smash Bros? Or like no? Oh, do you want to ask me who I main? Who do you main in Smash Bros?
Gold Captain Falcon every single time. If not him, it's either Ryu or Ken.
I feel that. I feel that. I uh I also play a lot of Captain Falcon. I love Captain Falcon. He's definitely my melee and my Smash 4 like pick. I
Dude,
love Captain Falcon.
definitely those two. Brawl was a little wonky. I still played him occasionally in Brawl, but when it came to Brawl, I always picked Luigi.
I played Meta Knight in Brawl.
Yeah, but
And
everyone
then
played Meta Knight and Brawl, and I'm pretty sure he got banned at some point. It was just unfair, bro.
yeah,
Like Meta Knight was
yeah. I
broken.
I think it depended on where you were, because I don't think you ever got banned outright in Edmonton. I think people in Edmonton just moved on to playing Project M, you know what I mean? Like
Definitely.
the Project M scene in Edmonton lived out from like the Brawl era into like the 2010s and like even like into like Smash 4.
Hmm.
I feel like I don't know what's going on with Project M now.
Well, what I
Like it's
can tell
definitely
you
different.
is that right now there is a new version of Project M. Someone pretty much did the exact same thing to the newest Smash game, Smash Ultimate, and I think it's Project Plus. I could be wrong. Yeah, it's Project Plus, and it's pretty much like it's Ultimate but with melee gameplay.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
That'd be
so
fun.
everyone's been kind of hyper fixated on now. There hasn't been much of a scene. I know there's a couple of people who've been trying to, run tournaments and run friendlies for it. But when
Yeah,
there's only maybe a handful of people that know about it. It's not like everyone and their mom knows about it.
yeah. I know that a lot of like the I know that like the Smash scene right now is kind of like dead in Edmonton. I don't want to say it's dead, but like it's not lively because Smash is kind of Ultimate's kind of at the end of its life cycle. I'm seeing like a rise in Edmonton because of Rivals of Aether 2. Have you ever played either of those games, the first
Dude,
or the second?
oh my goodness. I was just talking to
I
Silverback
love playing those
Senpai on
games.
his
I
podcast
love
about
both of
this.
them. I love
So
those games. They're good.
Rivals of Ether 2 has been truly becoming the real Smash killer as of lately.
It's my it's my favorite game to play like with a GameCube controller.
I like the elephant guy. Um I have a
Roxanne's so cool.
I have a friend named DK. He has his own tournaments that he's got going on up in Prodigy Games. And when I was working there for a very brief period of time, I noticed that more people would come for Rivals of Ether 2 than they would for Ultimate. Now, granted, there was still a handful of Ultimate players. There'd be like at least,
I feel like I feel like those are different crowds.
you would
I feel like
think you would.
I think you might see like a handful of overlap, but I feel like there definitely are those like ultimate purists that don't want to play anything but ultimate because they come from Smash 4.
Well, that in itself is a huge debate because as of right now, Ultimate, like you said, has been dying.
Hmm.
And a lot of people have been just, fleeing, and just, focusing on actual life or just focusing on a different game. Or if it's
Yeah,
not that, some people overlap, like you said. So, like, you'll have the same guy come in for Ultimate, but
they're
then,
both.
or yeah, exactly. He'll pay for both tournaments and just kind of, fuck off and hang out at the venue and chill. So,
Yeah.
but Rivals of Ether 2 has
Uh,
I like Rivals. I can't hate on it. I like the first game especially. The first game was so fun, especially when you got to download characters that weren't a part of the roster. Like my friend.
I never got to play it like when it got to that point. I played it like super early on when it first came out. I bought that game on Steam for like fucking $10 or $12 when it like the first day it was out. I loved Rivals of Acer. I think it's my most played game on my Steam. And but like I played it like when it had like not even like all the DLC characters when it was like there was only like 10 or 12 of them.
Yeah.
And I kind of stopped playing it because I was focused on music for a really long time. I think my Steam says last time I played it was like 2018.
Oh boy, it has been a while. It's been almost 7 years, 6 years, 7 years.
Yeah, but like it's a good game. I would go back to it. I feel like it also like the first one gives like a different like experience that you can't get from any other like platform fighter.
No, absolutely not. Shovel Knight, Shovel Knight as a guest character? Nah.
No, just like mechanic wise though, it's just like
Very
I feel
fluid,
like the
very
lack of
fast paced.
certain things. I feel like the lack of things is what makes it good. I feel like it's simple and it's to the point.
Yes.
I like playing Orcane in number two. In number one, I like playing a Talus.
Talus. Was that the
That's the bear,
okay,
the polar bear.
okay. I was thinking of the
I
bird.
think
I know there's a bird.
I yeah. I think I think the guy I liked playing in the first game, I think he's in number two now. I haven't played Rivals of Easter 2 in like 2 months. Oh no, fuck, it's March. It's March, isn't it? Oh my god. I have not played that game in
It's
4 months.
420.
Yeah, I haven't played since last year. No, number two, I haven't played since last year either.
Oh man.
Like I locked into Marvel Rivals and I don't know, I've been having fun with that.
Marvel Rivals is pretty neat. I love Marvel Rivals. I just
I
wish I
feel that
actually had
like
a fucking PS5 or if not a PS5, a gaming computer. All I have is a little Dell Inspiron.
you could build a computer for probably like $500 though.
I definitely could. I just need to get my act together and clean my room. Um,
Yeah.
but Rivals of Ether, fun game. But Marvel Rivals, fun game. I played as Punisher once on my friend's computer, and 10-player kill streak
Fun
off
game.
rip. I was like,
Fun game. I
such a
feel like that's the thing that happens when you first pick a character is you play them so well and you're like, oh my god, I think I love this character. And the next 3 games you go fucking like 2-9.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. It's been a while since then, so maybe once I actually get back on the grind and start playing that, maybe I'll change my mind. But we'll
Yeah.
see.
I think games like that are fun when you play it with friends.
Absolutely.
Like I definitely enjoyed playing Overwatch when I played it with my friends versus when I try to play Overwatch alone. And like they made changes to Overwatch that I feel like I just did not like, so I stopped playing the game.
I don't know. I liked Overwatch when it first popped off in like 2016, and it just seriously downgraded since then.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I stopped playing it like during the pandemic, I think.
I feel it. Yeah, the pandemic definitely amplified that. Um,
Yeah.
I don't want to take too much of your time. We're almost hitting that
No worries.
50 mini mark. Is there any projects or ideas that you want to plug into this video before we completely wrap things up? Or, just give
Uh,
advice?
yeah, I will say a few things. So, firstly, I want to give a shout out to my friend Graveyard. I've been mixing and mastering his music for the last like year and a bit. He's a dope dude. Um, he has some crazy like lore that like at first when you're just listening to him you'd be like, oh, that's kind of bullcrap. But then he has screenshots that like back up what he's saying, and he was like, man, Cemetery like copied my pictures, and like he showed me these pictures of Cemetery, and they showed me his pictures and the dates, and he totally like if not Cemetery ripped him off. It's like the coincidence is crazy. Cause
That is,
like cemetery, graveyard, they're like just similar names, you know?
yeah, that is kind of odd.
Yeah.
Very fishy.
It's just like it's super funny, but like it's just something I'm kind of laughing over. But like I like Graveyard. He's dope. He's always dropping new music on SoundCloud. He only drops his music on SoundCloud. we're working on like a collab like project that's both me and him like vocally. And it's dope. He's he's definitely experimental and like trying to like push things in a different direction, which I really like.
Fuck yeah.
And then to give some other like shout outs, I have like a bunch of solo stuff I am just sitting on. And I have a song with Luke that I'm gonna drop eventually. I have a song with my buddy Woozy, one of the kids that opened for me at Gaffmas. He's dope. Woozy's super talented. Everyone should go listen to him. And that's just Woozey. Super simple. And he's just like a local kid that lives here in like around Edmonton. And then let's see, like what else do I want to talk about? I want to give a public apology to Lucas Versace. I said on, I think it was your post or someone's post. It was definitely one of your posts, I think. I said that I think he blocked me or something, and someone else like said that, and they were like, I was gonna cop beats. I was like, oh, you should just cop beats off me, and then it turned out that he was just deactivated, and I want to say I'm sorry,
Yeah,
but you can't hate me for the grind. I gotta hustle that no one can take.
I'm sure he'll forgive you.
I'm sure he probably doesn't even actually give a shit.
That too.
Yeah. But like, I feel like I gotta say that because it's like there's no ill will. It's always all love with everybody. Like, I can't even think of anybody that like I actually have a problem with. I can think of people that have a problem with Luke, but like they're not even worth talking about. Uh, let me think. Let me think. Do we have anything? Do I have anything else I want to talk about? Uh, yeah, I have a bunch of like songs I'm sitting on that I like don't know what to do with. I have a bunch of songs from last year that I'm never going to drop. Um, I have beats. People should hit me up if they want beats, especially if it's this is dropping on 420. So if you're listening right now, go DM me on Instagram if you want any kind of beat deal. Probably do it. Happy 420. If I can get enough money to buy a lot of weed, I'll have fun.
Happy 420, everyone.
And then also this is the last week because it's 420. This is the last week before the big Edmonton Captains show. Make sure you pop out because you can definitely come see me. I'm definitely gonna be in the crowd hanging out for real.
Hell
It'd be
yeah.
fun. And that's at Union Hall in Edmonton. That's one of the biggest venues I've never played. I don't think I'm ever gonna get the chance to. But I love Union Hall. I don't go there enough to like you mentioned it earlier though. But like it's a pretty big venue. It's bigger than Starlight Room.
Fuck yeah. Is there
Yeah.
any links you want me to put in the description in the bottom below so that everyone could get all this information at?
Uh you can just put my Instagram at Brendan ILY. Brendan, I love you, you know, type B kind of thing. I'm never gonna use that tag ever again. That's a fun fact. Never gonna use that tag again.
Oh boy.
I don't know if I'm I don't know if I'm gonna use a tag again, maybe someday. I don't know. We'll see,
We will see indeed.
for real. But shout out to Metahuman Macaluco for real. My favorite YouTube channel to watch, honestly, right now. Like I feel like I've watched most of your videos, so it's mostly I wait for new stuff to drop. But like I've really been enjoying like the interviews and stuff you've been doing lately. And like I feel like you aren't afraid to like just create videos and like just push an idea out there.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. How'd you feel about the Lafayette vlog?
Ooh, I don't know if I saw that one. When was that one posted?
I just posted that one recently. It was just right before my Dr. AM PM interview. It was me and my homegirl Rojo.
I don't know if I've seen this video.
It's about like a good hour. You might want to get some popcorn.
Oh, I definitely have not seen this video if it's an hour long. Yeah.
But anyway, before you
And I
start
feel like
enjoying yourself, let me let you
of
go. Um,
course, my friend. It's been great talking to you. I hope you have a great day.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I love you, man.
Of course, my man. I'm gonna come hang out with you eventually, for real.
I am looking forward to the day you do. You and many other people who come to Florida.
Florida's gonna be dope.
Florida will be dope. And you know,
All of them,
the feeling is mutual because I still want to visit Canada and Edmonton.
for real. We got a big mall.
A huge mall. We have multiple
Yeah.
malls. Not even a big mall, just multiple malls.
Do you know what's in our mall?
No.
There's like a whole boat. There's a water park. There's an amusement park. Kind of crazy when I'm saying that, but like it's normal to me.
I shouldn't even be surprised. That sounds like Mall of America in Minneapolis.
I think Mall of America is bigger than Edmonton now, but like we used to be the world's biggest mall. There's movies that are shot at West End and stuff.
That's insane. I'm gonna have to look into that. But anyway, I probably said like let me let you go like 5 times, so let me let you go for real.
I feel like we've dropped so much good stuff though, for real. Have a great day, homie.
Thank you. Love you, man.
Do y'all EDM fans just casually listen to that stuff?
Yup!